Wake up, Africa, your time has come. Open up your eyes and see the sun. Open up your spirit.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, Africa.
And welcome to Africa Watch on the Dr. Mumbi Show. My name is Dr. Mumbi Saraki. How you doing? How's everything going? I pray you're well in all your ways and that you are living your best life for real, for real. Like not even a joke, for real, for real. Thanks to every single person that has subscribed to the channel. I really appreciate each and every one of you. Go ahead and subscribe. It's absolutely free. And make sure you hit that notification button so that you find out every single time we upload a new episode. There's some crazy news coming out of Uganda, and it's actually been it's an investigative report that was done by I think it was The Guardian, right, in the UK, one of the best independent newspapers. Actually, if you guys are looking for information of what's happening in Africa, what's happening around the world, they do some amazing articles, and they're quite anti-establishment, stories for the days. But now, can you imagine that a US pastor has been found to be running a network where he basically gives a bleach-based miracle cure to about 50,000 Ugandans in this massive ring. These guys did investigations. There's actually a lady who spends a lot of her time trying to expose these quack doctors. She's known as Fiona O'Leary, and she's also against quack medicine. And so she's been following this young gentleman. I mean, not even young. He's in his 50s. This is so wicked and evil. So basically, it's this group that it's led by these guys called Robert Baldwin, who's and it's part funded by Sam Little, and it claims that the toxic fluid will eradicate HIV AIDS and other diseases. Now, the American pastor, he's actually from New Jersey, and this guy who he's backed by, Sam Little, is actually a former clairvoyant. I mean, it doesn't get more crazy than this. And he's been running a network that gives about 50,000, I can't believe this, 50,000 Ugandans this miracle cure. And the miracle cure is made from, get this, industrial bleach, yo. And he claims that the toxic fluid actually eradicates cancer, HIV, malaria, and other diseases. And unfortunately, the villagers of Uganda have fallen for this. But how does the government allow their people to be accessed like this? It's because of this white savior complex. It's because we've not told the truth about colonialism and about our enemy. So when our brothers and sisters in the village who may not be exposed to what is really happening in the world see a white man, because we haven't told them the truth, they think this person is coming there to save them. I mean, you're giving people industrial bleach. It's totally insane. And get this, so the network is actually one of the most extensive efforts yet to distribute the miracle cure, because this guy didn't start this miracle cure in Uganda. He actually started it in the US, and he's been banned, but I'll give you more details after the break about that. So the thing is called Miracle Cure, Miracle Mineral Solution, or MMS, and it is so wicked and evil that he can't even post on Facebook because Facebook has banned him. A lot of internet whatevers have banned him, and so he has to operate in this pseudonym. And this toxic fluid being given to poor Ugandans, it's even being given to infants as young as 14 months. Can you imagine that? And guess what? It's chlorine dioxide. They drink this crap. It's nuts. And the product has absolutely no known health benefits and can actually be extremely dangerous. Now, it gets even worse. You think it can't, but it actually gets worse. So Baldwin, he's 52 years old. I think the other one is the one who's like in his late 20s, the psychic who pays him. Madness beyond madness, you know what I mean? So he's 52 years old, and he actually imports bulk shipments of components of this miracle mineral solution from China. I can't. I'm done. And so he imports sodium chloride and citric acid. Now, these two chemicals, when they're mixed together, is when they produce chlorine dioxide, which is a powerful bleach-based product used in textile industries. Guy. Imagine, I feel sorry for my people. This is terrible. This is absolutely terrible. You know, when I come back, I'll be giving you more details about how this guy was actually banned from the US and is literally a fugitive. And the Ministry of Health of Uganda actually did respond. I'll be giving you more details after that.
Wake up, Africa!
Well, I discovered it in the jungle because some of my men came down with malaria, and I asked them if they wanted to try this new water purification solution that I had brought from America, and they said, yeah, they'd try anything. So I give it to them, and they were well in 4 hours, and we were all really, really amazed. But after that, to make a long story short, I traveled through the jungle for the next 8 months treating people for malaria, and a lot of them, like maybe 70 or 80% of them, were getting well right away, but a few of them weren't, and so I, after doing that for about 8 months, then I went back to the United States and developed it further and sent it to Africa until my friends in Africa were actually curing every case of malaria that they tried. It was not failing on any cases of malaria, so it worked out pretty good.
Wake up, Africa!
Welcome back to Africa Watch on the Dr. Mumbi Show. My name is Dr. Mumbi Saraki with some very disturbing news coming out of Uganda. I literally can't believe this is happening. And I'm talking about this pastor called Baldwin, who has been selling a miracle cure to Uganda. Not even selling, distributed it for free. I'm telling you. You know, and it basically it's like chlorine dioxide, which is literally a bleaching agent for textile industries. Now, I don't know if you remember, about 4 months ago, I did another story out of Uganda about this young lady, I think her name was Lindsay something, who had been running a clinic, you know, literally went to some village in Uganda, opened up a clinic, and was even performing surgery on children through techniques she learned through YouTube. In fact, I'll attach the video to this one because you need to know this stuff. It's crazy. And you know, the sad thing is, I don't know if she was arrested. I don't know if she made it back to, you know, the US and snuck out of Uganda. No one knows what happened, but it's messed up. So now they've discovered, this was actually discovered by an activist who's against quack medicine, you know, a Mzungu called Fiona. And she discovered that this guy, this American pastor, has actually trained 1,200 clerics in Uganda on administering the miracle cure, and each in turn uses it to treat about 50 congregants. Oh, this is heartbreaking. And they're usually treated after Sunday service. So now, as an inducement, Baldwin actually offers smartphones to these clerics, another small incentive for those who are especially committed to selling this bleach cure. And you know, church is called, the church actually, or his ministry is called Global Healing. And he advertises himself as using the power of Almighty God. Which God? To greatly reduce the loss of life in Africa. I mean, I think this guy has a mental problem, imagine. I think he has a psychiatric issue. This is total insanity. So this lady, Fiona O'Leary, we really have to give her all the thanks. This campaigner against quack medicine, she actually posed as a freelance journalist and called Baldwin up while Baldwin was in New Jersey. And Baldwin revealed that he distributed the bleach through churches to stay under the radar of government because it's illegal what he's doing. And he said, you know, we don't want to draw any attention. When you draw attention to the MMS, the miracle mineral solution, you run the risk of getting in trouble with government and drug companies. You have to do it low key. That's why I set up through the churches. I mean, I can't even, you know. And he says he raises money through online donations where he uses platforms like Facebook to promote using euphemisms like healing water. And he went on to explain that, you know, I call it healing water to protect myself because Facebook has algorithms that can recognize MMS. And, you know, first, you know, guys, I don't even know. This story, it's so bizarre. There's so much information. And you know, he said he chose Uganda because it was a poor country with weak regulations, and he said, you know, those people in poor countries don't have the options that we have in richer countries. They are much more open to receiving the blessings of God. Oh my God. Now, this lady, Fiona, also asked him about giving infants this bleach solution. And he said, you know, the little tiny infants can take a small amount. They will spit it out, and it usually causes no harm, although they just get diarrhea. I mean, this is so sad. Imagine we can't allow our people to be accessed like this. This is insane. This is actually happening. 50,000 people. You know, and then the Guardian actually contacted him to kind of verify the information, but he was a bit more spooked with them, and he tried to say that he used natural healing therapies to help people, and that's something that Christians should do, blah 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 blah. But let me tell you, this miracle mineral solution has actually been banned in several countries, including Canada and Ireland. And in the UK and the US, it is strictly controlled and has actually led to fraud prosecutions. In fact, the US Food and Drug Administration actually issued a public warning that advised anyone with MMS to stop using it immediately and throw it away. And the FDA actually claimed that several people had been sickened by the chemical, suffering from nausea, diarrhea, and potentially life-threatening low blood pressure, and it had actually caused them dehydration as well. I don't even know what to say, you know. And the thing is, Baldwin's growing MMS network in Uganda appears to involve the distribution of the bleach free of charge. I told you guys. So it's not very clear how he's able to fundraise and get this stuff out there and import the shipments and everything. And now this psychic Sam, who had given him like $10,000 donation and then like $20,000 donation, he claims to have made money through his investments, and he was using his savings to fund MMS. But get this, he actually has just spent $30,000 to build a school for Ugandan homeless orphans called Sam's Orphanage. Now, the Ugandan ministry was contacted, you know, by for comments, right? And the Uganda Ministry of Health actually said that they had no idea. They claimed that this was the very first time they were hearing of MMS trials, and they said that there was no info about the chlorine dioxide being tested in Ugandan hospitals, and the government said they were launching an investigation. And so they said, we are investigating these people's activities in medical profession. You don't do advertising when you heal people. And he said, in fact, we have never received, they were also going to investigate this psychic Sam's orphanage, because they said that, you know, usually what happens is they vet and approve orphanages, and they had launched an investigation into Little's orphanage because they'd never been told by this region that they needed an orphanage. So who was this Mzungu setting up an orphanage? I'm glad they've responded at the very least, but isn't this nuts? Isn't this totally insane? We got to do better by our people, my brothers and sisters.